Donald Trump was looking like a very sick, decrepit, withering human being yesterday, sleeping for most of the cabinet meeting, then just looking demented throughout the day. This follows Donald Trump attacking the MeidasTouch network the previous day before going into a 400 post meltdown at midnight. This individual is deeply unwell. By the way, make sure you subscribe to the MeidasTouch YouTube channel. We're under attack from the Trump regime. We're under attack by Fox and all this right-wing media. We're leading independent media right now. Help us get to 6 million subscribers this month. You may think you're subscribed, but you may not actually be subscribed. The algorithm may just be feeding this to you. So please hit subscribe right now. Just look at Donald Trump at this cabinet meeting. I mean, here's his face. Look at his hand right there. It's all bandaged up. You know, he's getting these repeated MRIs, which they claim is preventative in nature. We know that people don't get preventative MRIs of the abdomen area. That's all BS. I want to just zoom in on some elements that might not be focused on in terms of that cabinet meeting. We know that Donald Trump was sleeping for most of it, but zoom in right now on Office of Management and Budget Director Russ Vought to see what he was doing. He was doodling for most of this cabinet meeting. Take a look at Pete Hegseth's name placard right there. He's the SS secretary, 2 S's. Maybe they're trying to send us a signal right there. Then after the cabinet meeting, Donald Trump went back to the Oval Office where he started talking about what his priorities are. He mentions the golden ballrooms. He goes, "We're doing great things." He goes, golden ballrooms. He goes, "We're doing arch. We're doing arch." So they're going to build a massive arch to honor Donald Trump in D.C. right now. And he goes, "That's a big deal, the arch." Just listen to what this demented human being is saying here. Here, play this clip.
Well, as you, Mr. Dell, about contributing, can you walk us through maybe who you've been talking to and how much more we can expect on top of
I think the people you probably would think I would be talking to. There's a group of people out there that have been very successful, and we've already started talking to them. You know, we're doing ballrooms, we're doing arcs, we have a thing that's being planned that's going to be a great tribute to the country, as you know. You probably heard about it. The arc that we're looking at by the bridge near Arlington, there's going to be something. We're doing some other things for Washington itself and for the country itself. But a lot of the people that have, gone in and done a real job with that. The ballroom, I think Michael and Susan, the next time we meet, well, I think hopefully we'll meet before then, but we're going to have a big event over in the ballroom to celebrate this. We're building a ballroom that they've wanted at this beautiful White House for 150 years. They've wanted it so badly. Right now we can hold 109 people if you're lucky in a room. It's a beautiful room, but it's 109 people, and we're building something. You see the trucks in the back. You see the clanging, the banging, and when it's completed, it'll be one of the greatest ballrooms anywhere in the world. It's going to be amazing. So people that were involved in that process, I have a lot of friends with a lot of success, and every one of them, I would be shocked if anyone turns us down. We're going to have a lot of big contributors, Jeff.
And then at that press conference in the Oval Office that hasn't gotten a lot of attention, a reporter asked Donald Trump about pardoning one of the top narco drug trafficking terrorists who's been convicted in the United States, Juan Orlando Hernandez, the former president of Honduras. And Trump was asked, well, why'd you pardon this guy? And, this guy was a horrible person. He worked with El Chapo. I want you to pay attention, though, to MAGA Mike Johnson. Little MAGA Mike, you see him standing right by Donald Trump's side? Because in a moment, I'm going to show you that MAGA Mike claims he doesn't know anything about this. So first, let me show you MAGA Mike by Trump's side. Here, play this clip.
I did.
You also pardoned the former president of Honduras, and he was released from prison
I
yesterday.
did. Well, he was the president, and they had some drugs being sold in their country, and because he was the president, they went after him. That was a Biden horrible witch hunt, which was, a lot of people in Honduras asked me to do that, and I did it. I feel very good about it. If you have some drug dealers in your country and you're the president, you don't necessarily put the president in jail for 45 years. That was a Biden-inspired witch hunt.
Did his letter impact your decision on
Yeah,
that, sir?
please
From
go ahead.
And here's MAGA Mike running away from the press as he's asked, what do you make of Donald Trump pardoning these drug traffickers? Here, play this clip.
Pardon the former president of Honduras who's been convicted of major drug crimes, big drug trafficking. Are you okay with that?
I don't know anything about that president. I don't know. I don't have an opinion on it. I haven't read anything yet.
He
Mr.
was
Peter,
charged
this morning.
45 years he was charged with major crimes.
The president has the ability to advocate on behalf of anyone he wants. It's not really my issue.
This morning, the Energy and Commerce Committee held a hearing.
While we're on the topic of Honduras right now, I do want to mention that Salvador Nasrallah of the centrist Liberal Party, he's now taking a lead over Nasri Asfura, who's the right-wing candidate, the MAGA puppet that Donald Trump is supporting. So Trump is absolutely livid right now that as of this recording, Nasrallah has taken a lead and Trump's saying, oh, it's fraud, fraud, fraud. The thing that's happening there is Trump and MAGA have tried to brutally interfere with that election in Honduras, but Trump's preferred candidate is not winning right now. You know, I think it's worth noting too that the Washington Post is and other corporate news is finally covering the things that we've been focused on here at the MeidasTouch Network. I welcome them focusing on these things. Like the Washington Post did an analysis of multiple video feeds of the meeting Tuesday, showing that there were 9 separate instances of Donald Trump falling asleep. And they said that there was, what was it, about like 10, 15% of the meeting Donald Trump was sleeping. Watch this supercut that they did. They did a really good job. Here, play this clip.
Japan and Korea, they offer us $750 billion in cash to build in America.
Over a fence line dispute that had been in their family for 130 years. We fixed that. The Henry family in New Jersey.
Investments, and we're seeing more and more of that, where we also rescinded the supplemental statement that discouraged the fiduciaries.
California, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Maryland, I could go on. What happened in those states?
Well, many of whom were let in across our borders under the previous administration. We are focused on these tasks and this imperative for the American people, and just appreciate your leadership, Mr. President.
Key Supreme Court decisions like Loper-Bright to overturn the Chevron doctrine. We inherited massive backlogs.
And that means that American patients at the point of care will be able to get an answer.
Then going from the White House to the Pentagon. So the Pentagon has this new press secretary, Kingsley Wilson is her name. And it kind of just looks like, I don't know, like someone doing like a high school project. And I'm like, no offense, it's just what it looks like to me. It looks like someone doing a high school project. But she now, this was her first press conference, and she's doing it in front of all that like right-wing propaganda press, right? They've kicked out all of like Reuters and AP and New York Times and Bloomberg and Wall Street Journal because they're requiring the press to allow the Pentagon to like edit their work. And so a lot of the press said we're not showing up. So it's all these like right-wing clowns like Laura Loomer, and then this guy who's like going around there with beer. What's this guy's name? Like Dow or something. They're like drinking beer in the Pentagon right now. Just weird behavior right here. But Kingsley Wilson, she says, look, these strikes that were taking place that were ordered by Admiral Frank Bradley, she goes, Trump knew about it and Hegseth knew about it, which is the opposite of what Trump and Hegseth said. So we're getting a lot of different information here. Play this clip.
Absolutely. So the secretary has been very clear in every statement that we've released about these strikes that they are presidentially directed. And the chain of command functions as it should. And we make sure that commanders on the ground are taken, their positions are taken into account, and they are able to tell us and make decisions if they see things that need to be flagged. But at the end of the day, the secretary and the president are the ones directing these strikes. And any follow-on strikes like those which were directed by Admiral Bradley, the secretary 100% agrees with.
Now, let me just show you what various MAGA Republicans are saying right now. Everybody from Don Bacon to Wicker and others to others. Here's what they have to say. Here, play this clip.
We don't kill 2 survivors who are not posing an imminent threat to anybody. And so best I can really say, I just want to make sure I get the facts. If what is being reported is true, someone is wrong and they should be held accountable.
it doesn't sound good. And if somebody actually did this, they should be held accountable. And it should be at the top, not the bottom.
You think that he should go if he's involved here?
Secretary, absolutely. I felt that way under Signalgate. He should have taken responsibility then, and he didn't.
Secretary Hicks has said he had no knowledge of this and it did not happen. It was fake news. It didn't happen. And then the next day from the podium at the White House, they're saying it did happen. So either he was lying to us on Sunday or he's incompetent and didn't know it had happened.
I've spoken to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. I've spoken to the Secretary of Defense, and will be speaking to the admiral that was in charge of the operation. I understand he was in charge of the operation. And based on that, we'll begin our oversight and get to the facts.
Do you worry it could be a war crime if the survivors were killed?
We're going to find out what the true facts are.
All right. Now, Admiral Frank Bradley, the commander of the U.S. Special Operations Southcom, he's the one who took the job from now retired 4-star Admiral Alvin Halsey, who abruptly resigned in October. Now I think it's obvious why he resigned. So Frank Bradley's giving a classified briefing right now to Democrats and Republican leaders of the House and Senate Armed Services Committee about what went down. We'll make sure that we report on this right away. I think that George Will, in his opinion piece for the Washington Post, said it right. The killing of the survivors by this moral slum of an administration should nauseate Americans. A nation incapable of shame is dangerous, not least to itself. And speaking about this moral slum, there's so many clips I can show you from that disastrous cabinet meeting. I did a whole other video about it, but I mean, here's when Donald Trump just says that like all Somalis are bad people, they contribute nothing, they're terrible humans. Just disgusting stuff. Here, let's play this clip.
Now I'm understanding, and you're going to look at that's good. I hear they ripped off Somalians, ripped off that state for billions of dollars, billions, every year, billions of dollars, and they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries, too.
A few other data points I want to give you before we go. Number one, yesterday there was a meeting in Russia where Donald Trump sent his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, who's somehow involved in this again. Like, could this guy just get the heck away? Steve Witkoff, who I'd like to see get the heck away. Rubio. So they're in Russia. It wasn't Rubio. It was just Witkoff and Jared Kushner. And they met with Yuri Yushakov and other Russian agents who they conspired with to launder the 28-point plan of surrender. And Yushakov said that thought it was a useful meeting, but he said that there are no plans for a second meeting between Putin and Trump, and said that there's no agreement to any of the requests from Ukraine, which all Ukraine's asking for is to stop the war right now and have a ceasefire. That should tell you everything that you need to know. As I said, a few more data points. We did cover last night the election in Tennessee, although the Democratic candidate, Afton Bain, fortunately, she did not prevail in the election against the MAGA Republican candidate, Matt Van Epps. The race was about an 8-point race, 7.5, 8-point race. So about a 14-point shift or overperformance for the Democratic candidate there in Tennessee. So if you were to extrapolate that across the country right now, Democrats for the midterms would pick up anywhere between 40 to 50 seats in the midterms, and they just need 3 to take control of the House of Representatives. So I think unfortunate result, but it's a plus 22 Trump district and a 14-point overperformance. But take a look at a race that's not getting as much attention, Roswell, Georgia, where you had a Democratic candidate, Mary Robichaud, flipped a Republican mayor office. Kurt Wilson was the incumbent in this mayor's race in Roswell, Georgia. The Democrat won, overperformed, Democrat won 53.2% to 46%. A big win for the Democratic candidate there. Let's just talk about this. Like, I always like to share with you the types of deranged emails that Trump's sending to his supporters. So you see the mindset, like the brainwashing tactics. That's why I like to show these to you. And I subscribe so you don't have to. So here's an example of one. It's this says, Trump requests your presence in the 47th President Founders Club. Accept the invitation to the Founders Club. And it says, you're not asleep, but yes, most people dream of receiving an email like this one. Then you click it and it asks you for money. Most people dream of being part of a fake club that you're just making up and you send emails about every day. Then there was another email he sent yesterday to his supporters. Did my letter get buried in the snow? And it's an AI image of Donald Trump putting a letter in a mailbox in the snow. And it says, first my son Don Jr. reached out, then my team reached out, then I reached out by email. We were convinced that you no longer use this email. That's why I even reached out to you by mail 4 times, even in the snow. Even in the snow. What state are you in where it's snowing? What are you even talking about? And then they ask for money. So that's what's going on. Cruel and unusual regime. Oh, I should just share this with you, where the White House stole Sabrina Carpenter, the pop star's music, to make one of their anti-immigrant propaganda videos where they're torturing and terrorizing the immigrant population. Sabrina Carpenter said, this video is evil and disgusting. Don't ever involve me or my music to benefit your inhumane agenda. And as of this recording, it got 41 million views, way more, like 41 million more views than what the White House did. No wonder 18 to 29-year-olds are one of the biggest groups moving away from this Trump regime. As I said, make sure you subscribe, please. You may think you're subscribed, but you're not. We're trying to get to 6 million subscribers this month. Let's try to do it. Hit subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.